Hi, you guys. My name is Sharita. I'm the most positive person you'll ever meet. I guarantee it.
We are singing to our love.
I know. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to say a word. You don't have to say anything. It's been a year, a literal year since I've uploaded a video on this channel. And to be completely honest, it's because this season was a little depressing. The season was not normal, so I didn't make videos. I'm sorry, but here I am because we did have somewhat of a normal summit and I was able to watch that. So in today's video, we're just going to be talking about Summit. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking about Summit, what went down, some good things that happened, some other good things that happened. I really want to focus on the positive. We don't need to get too negative. That's what we're going to do. So if you guys don't know, I have another channel. It's called Sharita Explains It All. And I've been uploading on that channel frequently. I don't even remember the things that I used to say on this channel. So we're just going to start talking. But before that, before I get started, make sure you click subscribe for new content whenever I post. And also do not forget to click the notification bell so that you are notified every single time that I post a video. While we talk about Summit, I'm going to be putting makeup on because that's what I like to do. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is kind of just the overall, I guess, consensus. I don't know if that's the word that I want to use, but just some overall things that I saw at Summit as a whole. So one of the first things that I noticed is that everybody has phenomenal jumps. Phenomenal. And I'm not just talking these teams that are, level 4, 5, 6. I'm talking all programs for the most part. I mean, it was every time, because I was live tweeting during Summit. And I found myself kept going, oh my gosh, these people have such good jumps. Oh my gosh, this team has such good jumps. Oh my gosh, that center jumper is, amazing. I could not get over that. And I'm glad that people are now understanding that the things on the score sheet, they matter. So we can't just focus on tumbling. We can't just focus on stunts. Like, we have to focus on every single aspect of the score sheet, and that includes jumps. I even saw one team that I'll talk about later, and they did not a single toe touch in their routine. And I'm sure they got a really good score on their jumps. I think they did a double pike and then a hurdler. And I was like, I think that's the first time I've seen a team do a jump series or go through an entire routine without a toe touch, yet they still got a 5 on their jumps, and their technique was really good. And it's one of those things where it's like, normalize putting things in your routine that help you. So if you know that you've got a bunch of people on your team that don't know how to do toe touches correctly, but everybody else has a mean hurdler and a mean pike jump, let's do that. Toe touches are not mandatory. They're not. So that's something that I would like to see. It was different. And I know it's just jumps, but whatever. So good jumps. And then, like I said, that one team, they did not a single toe touch. And I thought that was really cool. The next thing that I want to touch on is the amount of front tumbling that I saw. And I know this may not be a big deal to a lot of you guys, but we're used to seeing the same tumbling passes from level 1 to level 7. We're used to seeing the same tumbling passes. Y'all, I saw this one team, I want to say it was Iowa Cheer, and they had a girl do in a noti, which, again, I didn't get to watch every single team because Friday and Saturday there were 4 different venues, and Sunday there were 3 different venues. So of course I couldn't watch every single team, but that was the only noti that I saw all weekend. And I was just like, can we normalize Now, I get it, a noti, you know, you start backwards, you end forward, but still, I would just like to see skills other than layouts, back layouts. I would like to see skills other than fulls, back fulls. I want to say a front handspring front full. I know I saw a plethora of front aerials, which that was like, okay. I know just within the last couple years, level 3 teams just started really pushing aerials into their routines, because it used to just be like, you know, back tucks. Yeah, it just used to be back tucks. And nobody really did aerials, but now people are pushing, gyms are focusing more on, well, what else can we do besides back tucks? And so now we're seeing a lot of aerials, but the front aerials is what got me. And I was just like, yes, I love to see like range. That's what I like to see. I like to see range. And then I saw one of my favorite tumbling passes was front handspring, punch front, step out, front handspring, punch front. Why can't that just be like a thing? Why can't, I mean, I did see a lot more front tumbling than I normally do, but I would love to see just more. I would love to see more. And then, I mean, of course, a lot of people do, you know, punch front through to layouts or fulls or doubles or whatever. But it was the front handspring fronts and the front aerials and the, like I said, I'm pretty sure I saw a front full. Let's normalize these skills. Like, back tumbling is not the only way to tumble. Let's take it up a notch. Let's not have all of our routines look alike, because I'm telling you right now, people are going to remember when you do something that stands out. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to help increase your score. I'm just saying people are going to remember you. And then speaking of alternate skills, such as front tumbling, I saw a lot of but different skills into back tucks. So when it comes to level 4 for standing back tucks, you know, you've got just a regular standing back tuck, or people would do T-jump back tuck. Cartwheel back tuck is considered running tumbling, so that doesn't count when it comes to standing tumbling. So I saw a lot of back walkover back tucks, which great, because that means you are being progressive in your teaching. You're teaching progression. Did I say progressive? Whatever. So you're progressing through your skills instead of walking in and being like, can you teach me a back tuck, without learning the handstands and the cartwheels and all that other stuff. So I really liked that. The back walkover back tucks. I saw a couple of people do a Valdez into a back tuck. I saw a backward roll into a back tuck. I saw a standing, like a jump full turn back tuck. I think that was Stingray Platinum who did that. I saw just so many different, like a variety of skills. Oh, back extension roll back tucks. Y'all, I was just shook. I just love when people incorporate other skills that aren't just the basics, because then that goes to show that we're actually progressing as a sport. We're not limited to just, you know, and it wasn't just one person that was doing these skills on the team. It was a bunch of people that were doing these skills. Oh, and I also want to say that I saw a couple of aerial back tucks. I want to say I saw some of those. I don't know. I just really enjoyed seeing variety. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. The variety was there. The variety was giving what it was supposed to give. All right, so there is one, I don't know if I want to call it like negative, but there is one thing that I kind of want to talk about. And this wasn't something that I saw happen, but it's just something that I want to talk about, just so people kind of get a clearer understanding of the score sheet, because some people may not know these things. So remember, well, I shouldn't even say remember, because on the world score sheet, I'm pretty sure when it comes to deductions, bobbles count. Well, on the varsity score sheet, which is varsity Summit uses the varsity score sheet. So on the varsity score sheet, there are no bobbles. However, and people need to understand this, when it comes to building stunts, if there is an obvious mistake, such as a bobble, 3/10, 0.3 is taken off of execution for each obvious mistake. A fall is considered an obvious mistake, so not only are you getting that 0.3 off, you're getting the deduction as well. So bobbles technically do count, they're just not considered a deduction on the score sheet. But the building judge, however, is going to take off 0.3 for execution, or 0.2, it's like 0.2 or 0.3 for an obvious mistake. Now, every fall is an obvious mistake, but not every obvious mistake is a fall. So don't think that these teams are not being penalized for the bobbles, or, like say they're supposed to do a heel stretch, but they bring it down really quick to a lib so that they don't fall and they go into a smush with everybody else. That's going to be considered an obvious mistake because, especially if they're like, wobbling or whatever. So don't think that those mistakes are just not being punished or not being accounted for, because they are. And I did see a lot of people that were, kind of worried about that. Like I said, the only difference between the varsity score sheet and the USASF score sheet is the world score sheet, they count bobbles in deductions, whereas the varsity score sheet, they count bobbles in building execution. So that wasn't specific to Summit, but I just thought that I would throw that in there just in case, if inquiring minds wanted to know. I don't like this foundation. Okay, so now I'm just going to get real controversial and play a little bit of favoritism, but can we just talk about Stingray? Can we talk about Stingray All-Stars just for a second? Y'all, they did what they had to do, and their upper level teams, their higher level teams were just phenomenal. Stingray Green, which is their junior level 6, large, small, something. And then Platinum, which is one of their level 4 teams. Both Stingray Green and Stingray Platinum scored a 99.7. And if that just does not tell you everything that you need to know, then, and that was the highest score of Summit. They were phenomenal. They were amazing. It was just like picture perfect cheerleading. So I just really wanted to shout that out real quick. But we will be talking about some other teams that I literally fell in love with. And then the last thing that I wanted to touch on before we move on are the ties. You guys, there were so many ties within so many different divisions. It was one of those things where it was just kind of like, oh my gosh, like another tie. The first tie that we had was a 3-way tie for first place. And it was in level 2. It was junior level 2 medium. And there was a 3-way tie for first place. Now, one thing that I kind of want to talk about when it comes to ties, a lot of people don't understand like how ties work. And for some reason, some people think or thought that cheerleading is the only sport that does it this way. But like, tell me you've never watched the Olympics without telling me you never watched the Olympics. Because if even if 5 people got first place, the very next place is going to be 6th. There's not going to be a 2nd. There's not going to be a 3rd. But we are going to give whoever those first place teams are, they're going to get their credit. And the same thing goes with second place. If you've got a 2-way tie for second place, there's not going to be a 3rd place. It's going to skip directly to 4th place. That's just how it is. I honestly couldn't tell you The reasoning for it, I really can't. I mean, I'm sure I could look it up, but that's just how it is, and that's how it's always been. Is it fair? Maybe. I don't know, because again, I don't know the reasoning behind it. However, don't take it out on varsity, because that's just how things are. And also, I did see somebody, say something about how they were waiting for, Brandon Senior Black to get their first place. But USASF, they have different rules in varsity. USASF literally has a tiebreaker rule, whereas varsity does not. Am I saying it's fair? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just explaining it. All right, so now we're going to go through all the ties. We're going to talk about them. So, International Summit, which were the U teams, there was only one tie, and that was in level 2 U17, and it was a second place tie. So first place was Woodlands Elite Nighthawks. Second place, the tie went to Stingray Silver and Cheer Extreme Frost. That was it. That was the only tie. Now let's get into the good stuff. As I mentioned before, Junior 2 Medium, there was a 3-way tie. It was California All-Stars J2 Crew, Diamonds, Sassy Cats, and World Elite Authority, and they all scored a 98.3. There were a total of 10 ties, so let's have fun. In level 2 Junior Small, first place was South Bay Divas Crystals, and then second place was the tie. It was American Cheer Junior Blue and Stingray Suns. Level 3 Junior Medium, first place was Star Athletics Junior Gold. Second place was the tie. It was California All-Stars J3 and All-Star Revolution Liberty. All right, so this one is kind of interesting. So this is level 3 Junior Small. And in first place was a tie. It was Florida Top Dog Riptide and Cheerville Wicked. Now then that goes straight to third place, right? There's no second place because there was a two-way tie for first place. So that takes care of second place. But in third place, there was also a tie. And that was Cheer Athletics Ice Caps and Cheer Express Bomb Squad. And let me tell you these scores. So first place was a 99.1 and third place was a 99.1. A 0.1 difference. So the next tie came in level 3 Senior Small. First place was PCM Scarlet. We'll talk about them later. Second place was Star Athletics Senior White. And then third place was a tie with Central Jersey All-Stars Knockout and Brandon Spice. And can we talk about how Brandon Spice had probably the best music? Well, one of the best mixes, because it was all about Spice Girls. I loved it so much, you guys. The next tie was in level 3 Senior Co-Ed Medium. And the tie was in first place. It was American Cheer Senior Black, a team that I have loved for quite a few years now. And California All-Stars Pink. And then in third place was Palm Beach Lightning Rubies. The next tie was level 4.2 Senior Small. And first place was Rain Athletics Electric. And then second place was a tie. It was Rockstar Cheer The Temptations and Cheer St. Louis Glory. We getting close, y'all. Level 5 Junior Small, there were... first place was Cheer Florida Electra. And then second place was a tie. It was Rival Athletics Black Widow and Top Gun Glory 5. Level 5 Senior Co-Ed Large. First place was Top Gun Yoso and Brandon Lightning. And then in third place was Spirit of Texas Royal Guns. And then last but certainly not least, the last tie came in level 6 Junior Small. This was another weird tie. First place was Spirit of Texas Junior Royals. There was a 3-way tie for second place. It was Cheer Factor Junior X, Jersey All-Stars Wicked, and New Jersey Spirit Explosion JFab. So yeah, there were a lot of ties. And varsity, unlike USASF, they don't do tiebreakers. So whatever your score was, that's where it was. If there was a 10th place tie, there was a 10th place tie. If there was an 8th place tie, there was an 8th place tie. There were no tiebreakers. It was just this was your score, this is what place you got. And I'm okay with that. Speaking of which, we're just going to go off on like a little tangent. And I don't know if I ever talked about this. I probably did when I talked about the worlds where Brandon and Prodigy got the same score, but they gave Prodigy the win, which if those are the rules, those are the rules. And both routines were amazing. So I'm not upset or whatever, but how come, and maybe it's an international, maybe those aren't the rules for international worlds, because do y'all remember the year that Gym Time Black and tied with, they gave both of them first place. And I would think that USASF would be consistent with their tie-breaking rules, or maybe it was a new rule. I don't know. But I think if you get that score, then you get that score. That's just, like and again, I don't know, maybe it is the same in other sports, but I'm having a hard time trying to figure out a sport in my head where they do a tiebreaker like that. Because like in boxing, like you can literally have a draw, which means nobody lost, like a tie. Nobody won, nobody lost. It was just a tie. And then in, sports that have speeds, like swimming or track or anything like that, if they tie, they get the exact same speed. There's no tiebreaker rule, right? So now I want to talk about some teams that stood out to me this weekend. Now, here's the thing. I did not get to watch everybody. And there are some teams that were there that I didn't even get to watch, like South Bay Divas. I love South Bay Divas, but I didn't see not a single one of their routines. I just didn't. Like, I just did not catch one of their routines as I was watching. However, the teams are the teams that I got to see, I'm just going to talk about them real quick. So if your team is not mentioned, it's nothing personal. It's just maybe I didn't see your team. Maybe I didn't see your routine. And of course, it's hard to go back and try to watch routines when paywall. All right, so let's start with level 1 junior medium. Yo, Powerhouse Godspeed. Yo, when I saw this routine, now I didn't watch the routine. Andy Simon uploaded the video. And when I tell you, you guys, level 1 is not what it used to be. Level 1 is giving what it is supposed to give. And this was the most creative routine I've ever seen. And the crazy thing is that they got second place. Stingray and Mango got first. And I'm like, well, what did their routine look like? I didn't get to see the routine. I really want to see what their routine looks like, because Powerhouse, that routine was phenomenal from beginning to end. It was exciting. I've never been more excited for a level 1 routine in my life. The second routine was California All-Stars J2 crew. That was a good routine. I didn't watch many level 2 routines. I made it a priority to watch that routine because Dana, if you guys don't know who Dana is, she's been a huge supporter of just the cheer industry as a whole. And her daughter is on that team, and not only was it a great routine, but they got first place. They were one of those three-way first place ties. You know what I'm trying to say. So I made it a point to watch that routine, and it was a good, clean routine. The difficulty was there. It was just a solid routine. I enjoyed it. Next was PCM Scarlet. Now, this is the team that I was talking about that did not do a single toe touch in their routine. And when I tell you that they understood the assignment. They understood the assignment. They did the assignment. They understood the assignment. They did what was supposed to be done. That was a great routine. I thoroughly enjoyed that routine. Oh, and they're level 3 senior small. Next was American Cheer Senior Black, level 3 senior co-ed medium. Like I said, they were a tie, but I've loved that program for as long as I can remember. Living in California, you know, or living in whatever state that you live in, there's certain teams and programs that you would only know because you live in that state. And American Cheer has always been a fantastic program. And they're one of their coaches, I don't know if he's an owner, if he's the gym director. His name is Jason. He has a podcast, and I'll link that below, but it's a podcast about cheer, and I think you guys should listen to it. I mean, what other good cheerleading podcasts are there out there? Next is Stingray Platinum. 99.7. That's all I'm gonna say. 99.7. I don't know if anybody has that, what's what I'm looking for? The video for Platinum, but if you can get your hands on it, I advise you guys to watch it because that's a routine that is gonna go down in history. That's an amazing routine. Next is Iowa Elite Cheer Skulls, level 4 senior small. And I want to say that was the team where the girl did the anoti, and then there was like a front layout. I just remember a team from Iowa, they were really good, and they did skills that we don't normally see. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say. The entire level 4 senior small division. So I watched that entire division from start to finish, and I had something nice to say about every single team. Every single team. I was like, wow, they were, every single team was so good. So yeah, that was the division that Iowa was in. That entire division was just really good. And I'm just glad that these divisions are getting more and more competitive. Now, this is a team that not only understood the assignment, they did extra credit. And that would be Ice Halo, level 4 senior co-ed medium. Their theme was hairspray. It literally gave me chills. It was such a good routine. I don't know how many times I'm going to say such a good routine, but you guys, these routines were so good. So now let's dive into level 4 senior co-ed small. So day 1, now a lot of people say that that is California All-Star Blackjacks, that's their division. But I wouldn't be so quick to say that just because, like I said before, divisions in general are just getting more and more competitive. And day 1 or semifinals, Cali Blackjacks, they dropped and they were in, I think, 4th place. Now with Summit, scores do reset. So it's not 25-75 or 50-50 or it's nothing like that. Scores reset. Well, they came through. Blackjacks came through and they won. And their routine was lovely, per usual. Their tumbling is so good, you guys. Level 5 junior co-ed large, California J Spades. Now, a lot of these are the first place teams. I just want to, I just kind of want to reiterate that. It has nothing to do with, it's not that the other routines weren't good, because they were, but I really just want to talk about the routines that I saw, and then, yeah, we'd be here all day if I talked about every single routine that I loved. So yeah, California All-Stars J Spade, level 5 junior co-ed large, they won, and their routine was so good. If I caught myself sitting at home in my house cheering for these teams, out loud, screaming, clapping, cheering, yesing. It was a lot. Now this next team literally has my heart, and they're not from California, but they're from the West Coast. Raglan Coast Cheer Slate, they're level 5 junior co-ed small. Y'all, they are the business. So I saw them last month, And I was like, I hope they're going to Summit because they're going to win. When I found out they were going to Summit, I was like, all right, I'm going to make sure that I watch them. And I watched them day one, killed it. They were in first place. And then day two, well, during finals is what I should say. One of their athletes, there was like a tumbling bust. I think she did like a punch front or something. And it was like I don't know what she did. But she fell in one of her tumbling passes. Where are all these kids? Anyway, I forgot what I was talking about. But Raglan State Cheer, like I said, oh yeah, I was hoping that they'd be at Summit because I was like, they're gonna win. Oh, the little girl had fell, and but their score, they hit everything else. And I'm not gonna say they were so far ahead, but an athlete fall is not worth a lot. Like the deduction's not a lot. So in my head, I was like, okay, they still have it. Like they still have a chance. And when I tell you they fought for that routine, they fought hard for that routine. And I'm just really proud of them. And they have this young gentleman on their team, and he stands out like no other. He's a performer. He's talented. And by we, I mean people who sleep on smaller gyms need to stop sleeping on smaller gyms. That's all I'm going to say. Top Gun, Yoso, level 5, senior co-ed large, the bomb. They're giving me, now they don't give me very much like TGLC vibes because they just don't, but the talent, yes. The routine, not so much, but it was still a phenomenal routine. Next, okay, Jam Time Twist, level 5 senior co-ed small. That ending. The whole routine was great. And then the ending, like they knew what they did. They knew what they did. That's another really good routine that I suggest everybody go watch. Spirit of Texas, Junior Royals, level 6, junior small. Now, I specifically remember saying it was like, I think it was the second to last tumbling pass. There were 3 athletes. The timing was impeccable. You cannot make up this timing. The timing was unreal. I was like, how does that even happen? How does that happen? And I think it was like a punch front through to double. I know the skill. I know it ended in a double, but I was just like, I was blown away. The timing was just, it was there. Next, Stingray Green. Like I mentioned before, 99.7. 99.7, they're a level 6 junior co-ed large. That means these are going to be steel athletes, you guys. These are going to be athletes on steel. Let that register for a moment. And then last was level 6 junior co-ed small, the entire division. The entire division. So Cheer Athletics won, and then Prodigy got second, and Twist and Shout, I think, got third, and fourth was Woodlands Elite. Like, these kids are going to migrate into this into this level 6 senior co-ed small division, and it's just going to be like, it's going to be how it was back in the day. These athletes looked like they were ready for Worlds. It was refreshing. It was refreshing to see. The whole competition was refreshing to see. But it was just refreshing to see after the year that we've had. That was an amazing division. And only 0.1 separated first and second place. It was like a 98.3 and a 98.2 or something like that. So anyways, I'm going to finish my makeup off camera, and then I will come back and we will finish up this video. Okay, you guys, so here's the final look, if you care. But anyway, let me know what you guys thought about this video. Let me know some of the things that you guys loved and enjoyed about Summit. If there are some teams that you guys think that I should watch, let me know, and please provide me with the video, because it's hard enough to, to find videos on YouTube or anything like that. And honestly, this kind of gave me hope for what's to come for next year. And Worlds, I hopefully will be uploading a Worlds predictions video this week, because Worlds is this weekend. But the crazy thing is, there's so many divisions, like I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to start. But yeah, I'm just gonna do a predictions video based off of absolutely nothing. Because I've been out of the loop for so long. You guys, it literally sent me into like a cheerleading depression. Like I missed this so freaking much. So the way that I cope with things is I ignore it. Healthy coping skills, not. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. Have a positive and love-filled day. Bye.